Let's talk about understanding the new legislation on cryptocurrencies. Came out, last week on cryptocurrencies, and it was announced as a Genius Act. And I always wonder, do they come up with a name of the title and then fit something to it? Or do they come up with Genius Act and say what will fit into that name? Because they always come out with something for it that has that. But the Genius Act stands for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stable Coins. Now, it's made its way through Congress to the president's desk. The legislation now it's supposed to provide licensing and oversight for stable coins as issuers now must attain licenses through either a national bank charter with the OCC, and OCC is the Office of the Controller of the Currency, or they can go to a state-level money transmission license. I've never heard of that before, but I guess I go to the state. That worries me because then you're not going to have the same regulation across the states. I kind of like the federal one better. I want all the stable coins to be. Yeah, I know. We could ask and want, but it's just like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I look at too is it is supposed to provide consumer protection in the case of the issuer of a stable coin becoming insolvent. The solution in the Genius Act is to prioritize stable coin holder claims, so the holders of those coins should be able to get their money back. Keyword there, should. This is nowhere near the safety, obviously, that one has in a bank where your deposits are insured by the FDIC should that bank fold. Again, we talked about this last week a little bit, but I just don't know why you would go into a stable coin when, again, you can just do a money market.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. And again, we'll have to see the use cases, I guess, as they unfold. But right now, I don't know why I would take that risk.
Yeah, and again, we talked about Jamie Dimon. He had something similar, like, well, yeah, we can use them, but I think he's thinking, I think we can do better and save money in the transmission of. I mean, so stable coins are just the buzzword. It's just a transaction that you're kind of working with, and it just worries me because everything's stablecoin. Reminds me back in 2000, everything was .com. Now everything's cryptocurrency, stablecoins. That's usually a sign that worries me. I do believe this law will give people that false sense of security, and I don't believe it will prevent a major collapse of coins, stable coins. Let me repeat that. It will not prevent a major collapse of stable coins. There's also a conflict of interest from President Trump's promotion of digital currencies, since he himself has a coin, I think it's called the Trump coin, and this was amazing to me. His son, Donald Trump Jr., and Eric Trump, they run a Bitcoin mining firm called American Bitcoin. And the whole family is heavily involved in cryptocurrencies, and it kind of rubs me the wrong way that the president, and I don't want to get too deep into politics here, you should not be able to enhance things that, and write legislation on things. And I do think they're going in the right direction, trying to make it safer for people. It's still nowhere near safe, but it's still something that I think he should not be in, or his family should not be benefiting from crypto if you're making legislation on it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's wrong. And especially something that really is only hype. I mean, if you have a company that's producing earnings and stuff, at least then you're able to kind of derive value from it. But I mean, shoot, you keep hyping it up, you could push Bitcoin to $200,000. Yeah. And it's like, wow, we're profiting even more because we're able to push up the price of it by just generating the hype. So I don't know. I think just personally, I think it's wrong. I think there should be some type of legislation that at least monitors and put some guardrails in there for politicians and, direct family members that can't benefit from it. But obviously, I don't write the laws, so I don't have an impact yet.
And I think there was some pushback in Congress on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, obviously, the left is not happy about it, and I can see why.
and I did write my congressman saying I don't think this is right either.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So we'll see. But the thing that I look at from an investment standpoint is that I really just believe all of this hype surrounding it is just continuing to fuel this cryptocurrency bubble. And the important thing to keep in mind is that you guys have been saying Bitcoin isn't a good thing for the last 5 years. I mean, a bubble in theory can last 10, 12 years, maybe even longer. But the bigger and bigger it gets, talked about this before as well, the larger the financial disaster it can cause. And I just worry. I mean, right now it's like, I forget what the cryptocurrency market is. Let's say it's a few $1 trillion. And not overwhelmingly disastrous at this point since it is a global scale. But I mean, that thing builds up to 5, 10, 15 trillion. All of a sudden you have an 80, 90% collapse in it. From that point, that causes financial ruin. The bigger that bubble gets, again, the bigger the problem in my viewpoint.
Yeah, same thing. I was on KUSI News last week, and I get on, it goes, well, you were saying that Bitcoin was bad 2-3 years ago. Are you still sticking to that? I go, definitely. Nothing has changed other than the demand has come in, the hype has come in. And it went up tremendously. And as we say, it could go to 200,000. I mean, no one knows where this craziness will end, but it will end because there still is nothing backing it up. And I even heard President Trump today talk on a news conference saying that, we want, a strong dollar. It's different from me saying a weak dollar. But, people say, oh, the Bitcoin's going to replace the dollar. He's not saying that. So that's why it's kind of conflicting. Well, President Trump, do you want a cryptocurrency here, or do you want the dollar? He knows you have to have the dollar to run the economy. And that's why I keep saying that. Economies around the world, they do not want cryptocurrencies because they will lose control of their economy, and they cannot have that. You would have recessions worse than the Great Depression of 1929.
Yeah, and I would say the only benefit I see to stable coins is it does actually help with the borrowing rates because it fuels demand for treasuries. One of the things that they can buy is short-term treasuries. So that is the only benefit I see at stable coins at this point, is it could cause a higher demand for short-term treasuries, which in essence would push rates lower because more demand, more buying, that pushes rates down. So, I mean, I'd say that is the only benefit that I see at this point in time, but I still wouldn't be buying one. I don't see the point of it. We'll see. People might think I'm silly for saying that, but I just don't like to take chances on something that really haven't been proven yet.
And also, too, we talked before, and I think we said this. I think it was 2022, and that stable coin actually crashed. And there's two different.
I think it was Tether.
Tether, is that what the name of it? There's two different types. There's one that is backed by collateral for each. They have a fiat dollar, fiat currency behind them, backing it all up. Or the logarithms, where it kind of moves it a little bit differently so it's protected. Those are the ones I think are the riskiest. But we still don't understand, and I guess they get, one thing I was thinking about too is that they get the interest at 4%. Now say that next year, short-term rates are down, they reduce rates, and now short-term rates are 1.5%. What's the benefit of having the stable coin for that issuer, that custodian that's doing that? There's no benefit to it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Circle last week. That's where a lot of this conversation was had, and that's where most of their profits is derived from, is interest from buying the short-term treasuries. So as you said, if that interest rate goes down, well, now their profits go down. I mean, is that a company you'd want to hold? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, we get a 4% on a money market. I'm sure that's what they're getting, maybe a little bit more. But that gets cut in half to 2. That could wipe out their profits. So
50% decline.
Yep. Be careful about stable coins.